Hi guys. So I feel like I haven't been in front of like my setup in a very long time. I've been doing vlogs and let me know if you guys enjoy them. I figured I wanted to do more vlogs just so you guys can kind of, I guess, just step into my life a little bit. I guess get to know me a little bit better. But I have to wait till she's done. I had somebody comment saying that they wanted me to do a video based on my experience in beauty school. And I figured that was a great video. So shout out to you. Let's get to this beauty school situation. All right, so I went to Paul Mitchell Beauty School, which is in Pleasant Hill, California. It's up Northern California, for those of you that don't know where Pleasant Hill is. So I went there, oh God. I think it's been almost 4 years. Yes, it should be. Okay, so I started Paul Mitchell when I was 21. Yes. So I started Paul Mitchell when I was 21, so that was 2011. And I went part-time because I had to work full-time. So at the time I was working at Chase Bank, I was working from 8:30 in the morning to 4:30 p.m. and I was doing night school, so I would go straight to Paul Mitchell. So it would be work 8:30 to 4:30 and then 5 to 10 go to school. I was going Monday through Friday, I want to say. Yeah, I think it was Monday through Friday I was doing that. It was either Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. I don't know, I just remember being tired all the time. Let's back up a little. So prior to that, I was kind of searching for schools. There's probably two other ones that I looked at prior to Paul Mitchell. One was kind of way cheaper. If I were to do it again, I would go that route. I'll tell you why later. And didn't go there. I went to another one and it was called Marinello. It's no longer there. I went to go talk to the lady there, and I remember her saying that their tuition was $21,000, and I was like, okay, thank you. So then I was like, let me go check out Paul Mitchell. At that time, back in 2011, it was 18,000. 18,000. Wait, yeah, girl, that's a lot of money. Ugh. It was $18,500. So in my head, I was like, okay, I'm obviously going to choose Paul Mitchell. It's cheaper. It has the name, way better than Marinello. And so that's why I decided to go to Paul Mitchell. Started in 2011. If you do part-time, it takes about, how many months? I remember it takes about 22 months. So almost 2 years. And if you do full-time, it takes only 10 months. So that's like a full-time job. You're going all the time. I think it's 40 hours a week. Yeah, 10 months. I couldn't do it because I obviously had to work. It took me, I would say maybe a little bit less than 22 months, because towards that whole spiel, I ended up getting fired from the good old Chase. I will explain. So basically, Chase, I hate you. No, I don't. It was definitely a blessing in disguise. So for Chase, I was working there for a couple years. They made me in charge of the ATMs. The ATMs came up short. They didn't know where the money went, blamed it on me. I basically got fired, and I applied for unemployment. They denied it. I went to the appeal, and it was funny because they made my old manager represent Chase during that whole appeal. So I remember the judge was like, so what proof do you have that she stole the money? And or do you feel that she stole the money? And my manager at the time said that he didn't have any proof. So then the judge was like, well, then why are we here? And I was like, yes. And then he asked me, what proof do you have? And I was like, you can look at the tapes. Like literally where I'm at, like my camera is like, boop, right there. That's kind of where, it was obviously a little bit higher, but that's kind of where the camera was, and the table was here, and I was dealing with the money right here. So it would be so stupid of me to steal that money. And like, first of all, I'm not that kind of a person. And if I was gonna steal, I would steal, I don't know, $4,000. But anyways, got fired. So then I was like, okay, cool. I ended up getting approved for my unemployment. It was not that much of a difference from what I was making, so I was like, perfect. So I was like, okay, well, let me go full-time into school. I'll be getting money and not having to work, and I'll finish a lot faster. But they said that if I were to do full-time, I wouldn't qualify for my financial aid, which honestly, it wasn't even much. They don't, if you sign up for financial aid in, I guess, any type of cosmetology school, they don't approve you for that much because they don't consider it a real school or something. So it wasn't even that much, but I was like, damn, I don't want to lose out at least that bit. I think it was like, honestly, like 2-3 grand that they helped out with. They're like, if you do full time, you're gonna lose that. And I was like, no, I'd rather not. So I was just on unemployment and going to school. I would just still go to school at night. Mind you, I was doing the whole work in school for like, I think a year and a half. Like during that time, during those 22 months of school, it was probably like, I would want to say like a year and a half or so out of that. And then towards the end, when my ass got fired, what they did allow me to do was come in, I believe it was like, yeah, it was 30 minutes earlier, so I would get those 30 minutes. So I forgot to mention, beauty school, to be like cosmetologist, you have to complete 1,600 hours. So that's why it takes 10 months. And then, for example, part-time, I think it was 20 hours a week. So I think it was Monday through Thursday, something like that. And what comes into my head was, I forgot to mention, when I got fired from stealing from the ATMs, my friend that took over the ATMs after I got fired, same thing happened to her. And they didn't fire her because I'm sure they were like, oh shit, something probably is wrong with the ATMs. Ain't that a bitch? But like I said, it was a blessing in disguise because I needed to get out of that damn bank. So anyways, yeah, back to my train of thought. So they did allow me to come in 30 minutes before. So I would be coming in at 4:30 and clocking out at my 10 o'clock time. So I'd be getting at least half an hour more. So I'd complete those 1,600 hours a lot faster. And they were letting me come in on Saturdays, which was cool. So I think it was an additional 5, I want to say. So basically I got done a little bit before the 22-month mark, which is like the goal time if you're going consistently. I ended up finishing 2013. I had what is that word that they call? Pre-apply? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. It's the term that they use when you're still in school and you can pre-apply before you're actually out to actually take the state board, which is what I did because it's a lot faster, I guess, to get your appointment to take the state board. So I got my license, passed the first time. Don't know how I passed that written test because Lord knows it was a little hard. I got my license December of 2011. Pause. I got my license 2013, not 2011. So I've been licensed for 4 years. 4 years in December. Now, my experience in school, this is where I would say it's important. Yeah, it was good. It seemed like forever just because I was doing part-time and I was working, so I was always so tired. I made friends there, which was cool. I had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, because that's the important part of going to beauty school. So what would happen would be, was this every day? Mondays, one day out of the week we would have theory for, I think, the entire day. So it was kind of like textbook material, kind of that aspect of it. And then the other days we would do classes, and then we would also be on the floor. And I remember they'd give us this like sheet, and it had like boxes of like different types of services that you had to complete. For example, a perm. And you do a perm, you wrap a perm, you show it to one of they call them the service leaders. Pause again. They're called learning leaders. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Is that what they were called? Service leaders. It sounds right. Correct me if I'm wrong if you guys went to Paul Mitchell. But you'd show it to them and they'd look at it and you feedback. They'd give you constructive criticism, and once they give you the A-OK, they sign it off, they initial it, date it, I believe. And basically you'd have to complete that entire sheet within a span of, I think it was monthly that they collected it. So they gave you a good month. Yeah, and like after a certain amount of hours, you would have to take, they would give you kind of like a mini test just to kind of test you on everything before you can actually hit the floor and actually start working on like actual live people, which I remember was just, I was so freaked out. That was like the gist of it. What I did, I guess, notice from like hearing other people that went to the school that was a lot cheaper, those other schools kind of teach you more so just to pass the state board. And then Paul Mitchell, they show you more of the Paul Mitchell system. So it's a lot of like the cutting systems that they do, the color systems that they do. And you know, they have their own product line, their own color line and all that. So it was a really good program, I would say, a really good training program to kind of like, I feel like, I mean, I still apply a lot of the things that I've learned there to what I'm doing now. So like kind of like the basics. So it definitely for sure helped. Now I'm going to mention why I said that if I were to do it all over again, I would go to a cheaper school, but I would do apprentice. So what that is basically you're basically going to school once a week, usually Mondays, and it's theory. And then when you're an apprentice, you work under somebody. So somebody that owns a salon and they have their license and everything, you work under them. And not a lot of salons and schools do that as far as here in Northern California or like in the region that I'm at. There's not that many schools and salons that do that. So you do kind of have to have do your research or like know somebody that knows somebody kind of thing. Yeah, so you go to school once a week and then the rest of the days you're like shadowing and actually like doing hair. So you're kind of like knocking two birds with one stone. You're doing your school, you're getting your school out the way, and you're building your clientele in a sense, you know. And it actually prepares you for like the actual real world salon, and it's so much cheaper, like maybe by like 10 grand, which is a lot of money. Depends what school you go to. I would just do that because what I've learned in Paul Mitchell was great, yes, but when you get into the real world and actually start learning and even watching YouTube, I've learned so much just watching YouTube, from Guy Tang to Alexis May, watching their Instagrams, or just there's so much knowledge and information that's all over social media. So that and it's free, you know, typically it's free. And you know, you're in the salon when you're apprenticing, so you're learning from all the other stylists, including the one that you're shadowing, that you're under. So I feel like that experience, the training is there. You're just not getting it from like a school, if that makes sense. I mean, I guess the cool part is too, is that when you're in Paul Mitchell, the clients that do come in, they're aware that you're students. So if you fuck up, it's not like, yeah, I'm sure they'll get upset, but it's not like they should expect that. They should know that, especially because the prices are so low. They should know that shit can happen, basically. That's like the only thing that kind of like, you really can't get that at a salon, because if you fuck up, you fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Usually the salon will advise the client, like if they're apprenticing, like, hey, we have an apprentice, do it at a cheaper price too. I guess they kind of will have that in mind, but I'm sure they might not be like, oh, they're gonna mess up, you know? I feel like that might be a little bit more scary, but oh well. So yeah, I would feel like I would do the whole apprentice thing. It's cheaper. You're, like I said, you're getting your education, your schooling, and then you're building your clientele up as well. I mean, you can always pay here and there for classes. Like I said, there's classes everywhere, and you never want to stop learning. Like, the only thing that I will say is at Paul Mitchell, we would have days where we'd have guest artists, meaning there would be people from, like for example, we have Kelly Cardenas, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He works for Paul Mitchell, so he has like his own salons, and they're Paul Mitchell, like they use Paul Mitchell color. I don't know what that's called, Paul Mitchell owned, I don't know. He came in as a guest artist and kind of, you know, he demoed a couple things and kind of spoke. So from what I heard is that day school would get way more guest artists than we had. Reason being, I'm assuming because people, like the guest artists, would only be available more so during the day than at night. I'm assuming in the afternoon and at night. I don't know. We still had them, but I remember hearing that day school had way more opportunities like that. That was like the only crappy part, is that I felt that night school didn't have as many opportunities like that, you know, as far as a guest artist or certain events. I feel like day school got more, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know why it was like that. It just was. Overall, it was good. I had fun. It was memorable. I think now, 4 years later, the tuition is way more expensive. I'm not too sure. The last time I heard, I don't know if this is even true. It was like 25 to 30 grand. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that from somebody. They did a lot of events. Like we'd have a hug day where we'd like go out and about and just spread love, which was cool. I mean, I enjoyed it. You had to wear all black, which was cool because it was kind of like I could wear the same thing 5 days in a row. Nobody noticed. I think that's basically it, right? Like I'm trying to think of more that I could say about Paul Mitchell. Like, and then basically after I took my state board, like I said, I received it in December 2013. So it'll almost be 4 years that I've been licensed. But technically, because after I finished school, I ended up going back to the bank. It wasn't to Chase Bank, it was another bank. But I don't know, I think it was because I was scared of the unknown. I was just scared. At that bank, I was working for 6 months and I was like, you know what, I need to get out of here. I need to go to school. I need to work in what I went to school for. You know, I spent all this money and I hate being at the bank. I hate working 9 to 5. It's not me, it's not my lifestyle. My advice to those of you that are going to beauty school or that, I guess any type of school, is just don't give up, like stick it out. Especially if you have to work full time, that shit is on another level. I remember feeling tired and exhausted. Like I literally had to go to the doctor to urgent care. Like I was able to check myself in and drive, but it was kind of like sketch. But like 2 or 3 times, just because when I was at work I would feel like so dizzy and so out of it, and like I don't know, it was freaky. Like I felt like almost I was gonna pass out. I remember it like happened 3 times, and the doctor was just like asked me about my schedule, and I told him. He was like, well, you're overworking yourself. And in my head I was like, it's not that bad. Like yeah, I was tired and yeah, I was like, shit, this is a lot, but I thought like I'm young, I could do it, you know, it's fine. But you know, your body can only take so much. But even at that point, you know, when you feel like you want to quit, just keep going, keep pushing. You know, you will get through it, and once you're done, you're just like, fuck yeah, like I did this shit, you know. And it just makes you appreciate the struggle. Because think about it, and I mean, we all struggle. I'm struggling now. If you don't go through that struggle, you're never going to be able to appreciate the outcome, you know? Like if it was just like, here you go, you're not going to notice that this thing is so precious, you know? So enjoy the beautiful struggle is what I would say. And keep going, keep pushing. You will perceive. And just stick to it, you know. I'm saying this because I need to tell myself this too, and I kind of like to make these videos because in a couple years I want to watch this and be like, fuck yeah, you know what I'm saying. This is a little bit for myself too, so just pray on it. Don't think negative thoughts, just keep going. And this is with anything. It doesn't have to be with just going to Paul Mitchell or going to beauty school, anything. Just keep going, keep fucking going, because you're a beast and you will succeed. And this shit is not easy. If it were, everybody and their mama would be doing it. Yeah, just keep grinding and just go. Alright guys, well, to you that requested this video, I really hope this answered some of your questions. And if it didn't, if I didn't cover everything, just leave the questions down below and I will get back to you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for your support. To those subscribers that are growing, I see y'all. And I know it's not much, but if I can inspire one person, like that's just so much, you know. But anyways, yes, thank you so much for your support, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you are not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any suggestions or anything else you would like for me to do, as always, leave them down below, and I will check you guys in my next video. Now And that dog needs to shut up. Aquila! Pinche cabrona. Oh, que la chingada. My husband hears me having a Latin meltdown and he does not go shut those dogs up. Oh. It's really hot in here.